Hey, welcome everybody back to a very special lockdown session from Wrestling Travel, brought to you by our friends at True Heel Heat Podcasts over in New York City. Today we are very happy to have the NWA Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa, with us today. How are you?
Man, I'm hungry.
We'll try to make this quick. I didn't know whether to call you Thunder, I should call you Rosa. My journalistic integrity is at stake here as I start this out. We have been doing these interviews so far during this global pandemic, just to kind of find out what people have been up to during this time. And we talked a little bit off camera. You have not slowed down a bit.
Not at all. On the contrary, I've been working really hard to start businesses that I wanted to start before, we launched our website right after the pandemic happened. And it's been really successful. Then we launched a costume match, and then we started taping in July was our first one. So we're selling costume matches from our website. Then we relaunched Mission Pro Wrestling, which is an all-female show run by all females. So I've been busy, and I've done a lot of studio wrestling, and a lot of custom matches and stuff. So I have not stopped.
Oh, well, hopefully something happens where you can take a break, but it's got to feel nice. It's better to be busy than not busy, I would think, would be, although you could probably use a break. Can you tell us, for those of us that may be living under a rock, how long have you been in the business?
This is my 6th year in the business. This is my 6th year. I started in 2014. 2014.
And you have also done some MMA stuff, correct?
Yeah, that's what I've been focusing on during the quarantine, actually. The gym's closed for about 2 months. I was already training, and because I was supposed to be fighting this year again, that was a plan. I started training a little bit harder on it, and so I started taking it a lot more serious because it's a lot of commitment to train MMA, and since I already have my skill sets for professional wrestling, I decided to take a break from training in the ring and really focus on doing jiu-jitsu, striking, and all that stuff. And that's really tough, but I've been working a lot on my striking. I still have a lot of work to do, but that's one of the things that I train all the time.
Now, what came first now, the MMA or the pro wrestling?
Pro wrestling. I've been doing pro wrestling for, like I said, 6 years. MMA, I just started training full time, or at least 75%, and then 25 wrestling last year. So last year when I went pro, I didn't have no amateur fights or nothing. So that's a disadvantage that I have from my other competitors. But in MMA, what I like is it's like a 50-50 chance. On my first fight, unfortunately, I didn't get the win, but I won the distance, which is the most important part.
Right, one decision. Yeah, that's the thing. Just trying to do my catch up on everything here. It's hard to follow everybody, so I wasn't sure if you had a history growing up taking martial arts at all. That's impressive to just jump in there. My hat is off. I would literally take it off, but I've got no haircut since the pandemic. But that's fantastic. So how did you? I didn't get a chance to braid my hair either off camera. What when you were very young, what got you into the world of pro wrestling? Did you turn the TV on and saw somebody on TV or saw a show and you're like, man, I got the itch? Or how did your life lead you into the world of pro wrestling? You're shaking your head. This has got to be a good story.
No, I didn't. I didn't really watch wrestling. When people used to mention people's names and legends and stuff, I was kind of with this face, let me go on Google because I don't know, and I still do that sometimes when they talk about old school wrestling and stuff. I just became acquainted now. Pro wrestling, it's a passion that I found when I was older, so that's what I do now.
What? And tell me if I'm pushing too hard. What made you you know, you go from not watching wrestling to, hey, I'm gonna start training and do this. What made you make that jump?
I think it was that my parents didn't let me do sports when I was young, and then I do all the sports when I was older, and I was like, I'm gonna do professional wrestling now, because I'm married and you can't do anything about it. So yeah, I did that. Pretty much, that was it. Like all the sports that I learned and everything was because I was like, man, I can't do it. I just have to like really focus on doing it and being consistent. That's the most important part in everything in life is just consistency.
Now you're doing it at a very high level, and you know, with the NWA title, we are going to, we are. I can't even talk. This is how fast I'm trying. I want you to go ahead and eat because I know you're hungry, so I'm trying to speed along here. We are sponsoring the Independent Wrestling Expo in Dallas. Not this weekend, the next weekend, the 28th and 29th. And you're going to be a huge part of that. Talk about your match coming up, and just that's going to be one of the bigger indoor settings for wrestling. And it's not just, it's independent wrestling, but there's a lot of big names such as yourself on this show. Talk about that show a little bit for me. And
well, this is a show that the promoter's been very excited to bring to Texas, and he's been talking about it for like 4 or 5 months. It was on the works for a long time, and I was at a point I said no, but we were able to work it out. My match will be with Alex Gracia, somebody that I've known since before she started wrestling, and now I'll be facing her. I think it's on Saturday. And then we have the expo where we're gonna have actual fans and stuff. So you know, it's always like you get a little nervous, but as long as you like, you know, you're careful and you know, you practice social distancing and you're not hugging absolutely everybody, I think we'll do fine. We'll do fine.
yeah, no, I talked with Kyle and Steve, who are putting on the event, and Kyle was up at Warrior Wrestling up here in the north in Chicago at the beginning of the month. In Warrior, the social distancing, the fans were great, hand sanitizer everywhere, temperature checks, and I know the ring crew was wiping down the ring ropes and everything in between matches and taking all of the precautions. And the wrestling fans were very they got to an area where they could take their masks off. They were 15 yards away, and everybody kept them on for what I could see. So I know that Independent Wrestling Expo will do it right. Talk to me about the all women stuff coming up in Mission, Texas, because that's, when you say all women, you're not talking, yeah, it's going to be all women in the ring. You're talking about ring announcers, crew, everything. That is awesome.
Yeah, so we took a stand and we decided to do something different. And Mission Pro Wrestling on September 18th in Buda, Texas, we're gonna have, you know, an all women show that it will be run by women, and we're really excited about it. It's been 2 months of hard work, and like right now we're like pushing it even more with all the sponsors and like our partners that we're working with, and a lot more people want to join in forces with us. So I think because we want to make sure that we give them the space for like our sponsors and they get their money's worth. Like we actually had to like tell some people that they have to like, if they want to help us out for the next show, because I don't think will be fair just to take their money, not being able to like, you know, promote them just as much as they're promoting us. So the support has been excellent. People are very excited. We are almost at, I'll say 60%. We sold 60% of our tickets online, and we're expecting a full house, which is like 100 people because we can't have but I mean, that's okay, you know, given the fact that it's, you know, we still have a pandemic, and we want to make sure that our fans and our staff are safe. So we're very, very excited.
That's coming up in September. That's awesome. We will tweet that out and make sure everybody, is that going to be anything that is going to be, you might not be able to say, is that going to be live streamed anywhere?
Yes, on Title Match Network. You guys will be able to watch it. And next week, some of our sponsors actually are giving away free logins for those who don't live close by and can't make it, so you don't have to pay for it. So make sure you pay attention to our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter on Mission Pro Wrestling, because we're like pumping all this information and want to make sure that you you'll get all this information and you are able to watch the show.
And one thing I had so many different female wrestling guests so far, and one of the things I like to touch on is as a wrestler myself and as watching it, I so enjoy this. I know they call it the women's revolution, but even going back, I had the Blossom twins on from TNA in early 2000s, and I love the fact, and it fits right in with what you're doing, that the women in professional wrestling are not just eye candy anymore. They're kicking ass and putting on awesome matches, and they have been for a while, but it's so nice to be out of that era of bra and panties and eye candy, and we got ass-kicking matches. And dare I say it, look at how many matches that we see that are so much better than what the guys are putting on, because the women can do it all. And I can't wait to check out what you guys are doing in September, because
it's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, the talent that we have, it's great. Our booker, she did an amazing job. Robin Reed, she did an amazing job booking the show. And also we're bringing some of the talent that some people haven't really seen in this area, or that don't get the opportunity to like come over and like showcase their skills, you know. So I'm really excited to see it in action.
Yeah, let's do. So you didn't have any slowdown with the pandemic, which is awesome. You're starting to do shows, starting with the Independent Wrestling Expo. I see we're breaking up here on the internet, and you've got the Mission Pro coming up. What is? Are you full up till the end of the year? Do you see an end in sight where you take a little breather, or is everything just flowing along nicely?
You know, the thing is, like, when you're working on projects like this, you have to make sure that the next step it's bigger and it's better, and it looks, you know, more professional. So there's one of the things that we're focusing on Mission Pro in the pro wrestling area and in the customs area, because I mean, this is how a lot of our girls are making extra money that they have not been able to make because of the pandemic, you know. And we want to make sure that, you know, the quality control is good and all that, and it takes time, and also for us to make sure that we are giving back to our sponsors because they are investing in our product, you know. And you creating posts, you know, organizing the post, all of that takes time, and it's a team effort. So we're all working on it and making changes, because, you know, the scene changed after this pandemic happened. So it's not like, okay, let's go and put posters and talk to people and shake hands. It's not like that anymore. So we have to like make sure we have good streaming, that, you know, that everything goes well and smooth, that when we do certain things, that that it's done correctly, and that information is being passed to our fans. Because at the end of the day, if we don't make the money selling the tickets, we're gonna make the money with the streaming, and we need to make sure that that's properly done. And again, we want to make sure that whoever is helping record the stuff is not the men, is the women, you know. So it's challenging, but it's good. It's a good challenge. I think really good things are going to happen, and the whole team is really excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited. Just today, another company, AEW, announced that they were going to start bringing some fans into Jacksonville, Florida. So hopefully, as we have this slow return to fans, that we can do it safely. And pro wrestling, as always, a lot of time leads the way in such things. Last question for you, because I want to be respectful of your time. I know you're a busy woman and have things to do. We are looking forward. We are proud sponsors of the Independent Wrestling Expo. We are looking forward to watching everything there and watching your match. But the most important question I ask everybody is, we've already went through the Mission Pro Wrestling, but how can the fans that are watching this, and granted, we're out of the United Kingdom, where can they follow Thunder Rosa? What social platforms are you on? What are those? Plug those. Where can we get Thunder Rosa merch? How can we support you? And what the things that you're doing?
Okay, you can go to thunderrosa.net. You can find all my social media there, which is Thunder Rosa 22 on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And YouTube, you can find me on Thunder Rosa. Super simple. And also, my store, if you send me a special submission, you can definitely get all merchandise sent to anywhere in the world.
You have not extended to the world of TikTok, I'm assuming.
extend it to the world beyond TikTok.
Oh, you're beyond TikTok. All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Thunder Rosa, we wish you nothing but the best of luck coming up at the Independent Wrestling Expo and
Yes,
at Mission Pro, but we thank you so much for joining us.
thank you guys.